Hello learners, welcome back to the channel Economics at Ease. I'm Nida, your educator, and today we are doing the summary of the chapter Supply from Microeconomics. Okay, so very quickly I have made the slides. Okay, you can take the screenshot afterwards. But remember here, that is, we have to assume everything from the producers, sellers, or manufacturers' point of view. Okay, and supply curve is always upward sloping curve just because of the direct relationship between the price and the quantity supplied. Okay, so with this, we are going to start the chapter price. Sorry, price here, not here, that is supply. Okay. So the meaning of supply is here. It refers to the total quantity of a commodity that a firm is willing and able to offer for sale at a given price during a given period of time. And the determinants or the factors that affect the supply, that is individual supply, is the price of the given commodity. If the price is high, then the quantity supplied is going to be increased. Is the price of the other goods Price of the other goods means an increase in the prices of other goods makes them more profitable in comparison to the given commodity. As a result, the firm shifts its limited resources from the production of the given commodity to the production of other goods because their main motive is to earn the profit. Then price of the factors of production. If the factors of production prices rises, then what happened here? That is, it decreases the profitability of the producers, and because of that the supply reduces and vice versa. Then a state of technology, if modern and updated technology is applied, okay, for the production of the goods and services, then what happens here? It induces the seller to increase the supply, okay, and because of which the profit is raised, and vice versa. If the state of technology is what that is outdated or complex, then the producers will not you can say increase the supply, okay, and they will decrease the supply. And what happens here? That is because they are not getting more profit. Then government policy, if the government is providing the subsidies, okay, it is a financial assistance to the firms, then what happens here? The cost of production reduces, okay, and it motivates the producers to produce more goods and services, and the supply increases. And if there is tax, so much of taxes they have to pay, that is the producers have to pay, okay, then they will not it lowers down the profit margin and reduces the supply. Then goal of the firm, the main goal of the firm is to earn the profit, okay. And but there is such firms is to capture extensive market and enhance their status and prestige, okay. That can be a also a reason or a goal of the firm also, okay, but main motive is to earn the profit, okay. Then determinants of market supply, that is the number of firms. As the number of firms increases, the supply also increases and vice versa. Then future expectations or regarding price, if sellers expect a rise in price in near future, then current market supply will decrease, okay, because their main motive is to earn the profit. So in future, if the price rises or increases, then they are not going to supply at that moment when the prices are lower or shorter, okay, means decrease, okay. Then means of transportation and communication, if there is a proper transportation communication facility is provided, then supply will increase, okay. So this was the supply and its determinants, okay. In the next slide we can see here that is a supply function is of two types, like the demand individual supply function and market supply function, right. And supply schedule, that is a table form, individual supply schedule and market supply schedule, okay. Then supply curve is what? It refers to a graphical representation of the supply schedule, and ये table बना हुआ मिलेगा. It is the locus of all the points showing various quantities of commodity that the producer is willing to sell at various levels of price. The important points, what you have to remember, it shows a direct relationship or a positive relationship between price and quantity supplied, keeping other factors constant. Other factors जो हमने अभी पढ़े हैं, right? Then it is an upward sloping curve, okay. Then supply curve is of two types, individual supply curve जो कि एक अकेले individual supplier की होगी, and market supply curve, all the suppliers, okay. Slope of the supply curve, it measures the flatness or steepness of the supply curve. It is defined as the change in the variable on the y-axis divided by the change in the variable on the x-axis. All these things have been discussed, okay, in the videos in detail, okay. So I'm just giving you the summary in a short form. Now, in the next slide, we can see the law of supply. Law of supply means it states a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied, keeping other factors constant. The assumptions are that is the other factors constant कौन से होंगे? Price of the other goods, no change in technology, no change in taxation policy, prices of factors of production remain same, and goal of the producer remain the same. Now, supply schedule जो मैंने अभी आपको पीछे बताया था last ये slide में, okay, supply schedule and supply curve. You can see it here. Supply schedule, as the price increases, the quantity also increases. So this is the direct relationship or the positive relationship between the price and the quantity supplied. The supply curve is an upward sloping curve. This you can see and zoom it also. Then reasons for law of supply, that is the first reason, and the most important reason is profit motive. Okay. Then change in number of firms. As the number of firms changes, also the law of the supply also changes. Then change in stocks. When the price of a good increases, the sellers are ready to supply more goods from their stocks. Okay. Then exceptions. Exceptions means where the supply law of supply doesn't work or does not operate. Okay. So future expectations. If seller expect a fall in the price in future, then law of supply may not hold true. Then agricultural goods. That is, if the production depends on climatic conditions or unforeseen changes, then supply cannot be increased even at higher prices. Then perishable goods, you can say here, that is, there are some goods like vegetables or fruits, then the sellers will be ready to sell more even if the prices are falling, because the sellers cannot hold it as they are perishable in nature, and they will be damaged and they cannot be sell anymore on the next day. Okay. Then rare articles, that is, for example, the paintings or the antiques. Okay. Their supply cannot be increased even if the prices are increased or hike. Okay. Then backward countries, as the countries doesn't get the facility of the modern technology and methods. Okay. Techniques and machineries. So in this also, if the supply cannot be increased with the rise in price due to a shortage of resources. Okay. Then very quickly, we're going to start here the most important thing, that is the diagrams are also there. Change in quantity supplied. Okay, change in quantity supplied occurs due to change in price. You can zoom it. It leads to movement along the supply curve. Now, movement कैसे होते हैं? दो तरह के होते हैं. It has upward movement and downward movement. Then upward movement is also known as expansion in supply, and downward movement is also known as contraction in supply. In the expansion in supply, it is shown by an upward movement. Quantity supply rises. Okay, ये quantity supply क्या करेगी? आपकी rise करेगी, and due to rise in prices, जैसे price rise होंगे, आपकी quantity supplied increase करेगी. The arrow is this. Okay, then contraction in supply, it means here it is shown by a downward movement. ये देखिए downward arrow जा रहा है. Okay, movement. Quantity supplied falls from, okay, due to a fall in price. As the price falls down, then the quantity आपके डिक्रीज कर जाएगी. मूवमेंट क्या होगा? सेम कर्व पे होगा, राइट? नाउ द नेक्स्ट वन इज द शिफ्ट हियर. Okay, now shift here, what do you mean by change in supply which occurs due to change in factors other than price? प्राइस के अलावा जितने भी फैक्टर्स हमने पढ़े हैं, अगर उसकी वजह से चेंज होता है, देन इट इज नोन एज द शिफ्ट इन सप्लाई कर्व. इट इज ऑफ टू टाइप्स, राइटवर्ड शिफ्ट एंड लेफ्टवर्ड शिफ्ट. Rightward shift is also known as increase in supply, and leftward shift is also known as decrease in supply. Okay, now here what we're going to just study here, increase in supply, it means total हम shift कर देंगे supply curve को. Supply curve upward sloping है, increase जब होगा तो rightward shift हो जाएगी, that is this arrow. Okay, the total everything is shifted to this just because of the change in other factors. Okay, it is shown by the rightward shift in the supply curve. It rises, that is supply rises due to favorable change in other factors at the same price. Price is not going to be changed. Here the price is going to be changed. Movement में price change होगा, but shift में price नहीं change होगा. Okay, and what you can say here, in decrease in supply, it is shown by the leftward shift. देखिए left में shift हो रहा है, left hand side पे. Okay, shifts in supply curve, supply falls. Okay, यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हैं supply इसकी कम हो रही है यहाँ पे due to unfavorable changes in other factors at the same price. Now next is rightward and leftward shift. होता क्या है, reasons कौन से होते हैं, you can go through it. तो ये आपका हो गया shifts to the right. Okay, when the supply curve shifts to the right, the reasons are given here, and when supply curve shift towards the left, and एक कम कब होता है, then the reasons are here. Okay, then price elasticity of supply here, that is the price elasticity of supply can be measured with the help of two methods, that is percentage method and proportionate method. Okay, according to this method, elasticity is measured as the ratio of percentage change in the quantity supplied to the percentage change in price, and the formulas are here. जैसे हम डिमांड में करते थे, सेम एज इट इज है, बस यहाँ पे सप्लाई आ जाएगा. एंड प्रोपोर्शनेट मेथड, जब हम इसको न्यूमेरिकल्स करेंगे, then you will be easily able to understand everything. Okay, you should know the formulas. Okay, now kinds of elasticities of supply. Now here I have just make a slide. एक ही slide मैंने बनाई जिसमें सब कुछ मैंने diagrams और आपका quick recap बना दिया. Okay, so perfect elastic क्या होता है, that is infinite. Okay, सो इनफाइनाइट कह सकते हैं, इन सच अ केस द सप्लाई कर्व इज हॉरिजॉन्टल स्ट्रेट लाइन। ठीक है, हॉरिजॉन्टल आपकी स्ट्रेट लाइन है इनफाइनाइट में। ठीक है, लेटी हुई बिल्कुल लाइन आएगी पैरेलल टू एक्स एक्सिस, आपको ये पता होना चाहिए। ओके, देन perfectly inelastic here. Perfectly inelastic मतलब क्या हो गया? That is, when the supply does not change with the change in price, then supply for such commodity is said to be perfectly inelastic. Okay, that is E. ES का मतलब है elasticity of supply is equals to zero. Then E is greater than one or more than one. That is when the percentage. Okay, when the percentage change in quantity supplied is more than the percentage change in price, then supply for such commodity is said to be highly elastic. इसको हम कहते हैं highly elastic. Less elastic when the elasticity of supply, you can say, is less than one. Okay, so you can express that like this: when the percentage change in quantity supplied is less than the percentage change in price, then supply for such a commodity is said to be less elastic, and the diagram is here. Okay, यहाँ पे सबके diagrams देखिए, इसके आगे इसके less than, more than सब कुछ बना हुआ है, right? Then unitary elastic का मतलब क्या होता है? When the percentage change in quantity supplied is equal to the percentage change in price, then supply for such a commodity is said to be unitary elastic. Okay. Now, flatter the curve, more is the elasticity at the point of intersection. It means supply is more elastic in the case of, you can say, flatter curve as compared to a steeper curve. Okay. So with this, we come to the end of the summary part of the supply chapter. Okay. And most probably I'm going to start in the next video the unsolved numericals of supply. Okay. Total 55 questions हैं आपके, मैं जल्दी चाहूंगी complete करना ताकि आपको भी सब चीजों के solution मिल जाए from the Sandeep Girl book. Okay. So till then, keep learning, keep growing, and thank you for watching.